August 18, 2024. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here on LCJ Live. As always, we're going to get into box office. We're going to get into new releases, what I've seen, what's coming out this week, what I can talk about, what I cannot yet talk about, and more. Thanks for being here on YouTube. If you're here on YouTube Live, be sure to comment and I can take a look at the comments here, answer your questions, your thoughts on what's going on in the world of movies, entertainment, television, and more. Thanks for being here another Sunday as we almost wrap up the summer season. Can you believe it? Summer's almost over. Wow. But we've still got a big weekend here for Disney. Disney's had a good summer. Between Inside Out 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, and now Alien Romulus under the 20th Century Studios division. Plus, you can't forget Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, also under the 20th Century Studios division. So, your number one movie in North America is Alien Romulus with $41.5 million. By the way, I am supporting the drive-ins. This is my Malta Drive-In Theater shirt. And I've got some 2 thumbs up here because it's a good Sunday. With Alien Romulus number one with $41.5 million, bigger than Alien Covenant back in 2017. Not that much bigger, but a little bit bigger. That movie, by the way, opened to $36 million, totaled $74, so it almost made half of its money in its opening weekend. Are we going to get that here with Alien Romulus? What's interesting about this $41.5 million opening weekend for Alien Romulus, it is already the 8th biggest movie under the 20th Century Studios name. Obviously, 20th Century Fox changed to 20th Century Studios. It happened in early 2020, about the start of the pandemic. And under that name, this is already the 8th biggest release and the 3rd biggest opening weekend, only behind Avatar: The Way of Water and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes from earlier this year. Now, Free Guy opened to about $29 million back in the summer of 2021, totaled $122. It had very good legs throughout the rest of that summer and early fall. And so it'll be interesting. I'm not sure that Alien Romulus is going to get to $122 million. If it passes Call of the Wild, which did about $62, which Alien will do that. So I think it'll remain the 4th biggest 20th Century Studios release unless people go see this multiple times. I saw a guy on Facebook who's already seen Alien Romulus 3 times. So this could have the audience impact where it is multiple viewings. Or we could be in a situation like Alien Covenant where everybody went week 1, maybe not a lot of people go again. Prometheus, remember, from 2012, opened to $50 million, totaled about 126, so 2.5 times the opening weekend. So we'll see what happens. I'm thinking Alien will try to get to 100 million total, but we'll see how the next few weeks go. It could be number one again next weekend based on the money and everything going on with the new movies that are coming out next weekend, which we'll get into in a little bit here. On LCJ Live, number 2 is Deadpool and Wolverine, Disney 1 and 2. $29 million for that. It's at $545.8. Check this out. It's already the 9th biggest Disney movie ever. It just passed The Lion King from 2019 to make it into the top 9. It passed Rogue One to get into the top 10. So it is the 9th biggest Disney movie ever. I think Inside Out 2 is either 5 or 6. I think it's 5. But incredible that this summer 2 Disney releases, the 2 gigantic Walt Disney Pictures releases, and when you really think about it, Inside Out 2 is the core Walt Disney Pictures because it's Pixar, Deadpool and Wolverine from Marvel, and they are 2 of their 10 biggest movies ever, not counting any 20th century releases, not counting Avatar: Way of Water or any Fox movies, but as Walt Disney Pictures, you've got Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2 in that top 10. So Deadpool is at $545.8. Number 3 is It Ends With Us. I thought this might have a decent sized drop because everybody wanted to go right away last weekend. 50 million last weekend, down to 24 this weekend, so a little over 50% of a drop. It's at 97.8 for Sony. It'll hit 100 million probably tomorrow. That's very good. I mean, Sony is thrilled. But I saw some things that were like, well, where the Crawdads Sing 2 summers ago opened to 17, total 90, that's a 5 multiple. I don't think It Ends With Us wasn't going to get a 5 multiple to go to $250 million. That's not going to happen. It may try to get to 150. Again, that depends on how the next few weeks go. Labor Day will be very interesting. I also think the wild card in this whole situation is going to be if National Cinema Day happens again. We had it the last 2 summers, very successful for theaters. More than 8 million people both days went to these National Cinema Days. That's where I saw Where the Crawdads Sing in 2022 and last year Blue Beetle. If there's one this year, we'll see what movie, if I decide to go to a movie and which one. But I hope that happens again. That will make things very interesting for all of these movies and all of the movies to come, family films as well. I initially thought Harold and the Purple Crayon could get a boost from it, but that's dropping pretty big now. We'll get to that in a minute. So, but we'll see what happens there. Number 4 is Twisters. 9.8 million. That's not a big drop from last weekend. It's at 238.4 for Universal. It is Universal's 5th biggest non-Illumination, non-Fast and Furious, and non-Jurassic movie of the 21st century. That's a huge accomplishment. It's going to pass Bruce Almighty from 2003, not adjusted for inflation, very soon. So congratulations to Twisters. Number 5 this weekend is the 15th anniversary re-release of Coraline, which, as I wrote the other day, it was a 4-day event for Fathom Events, Monday, Tuesday, and then another Monday, Tuesday last year. And that totaled 7.2 million. This time, Coraline is in theaters for at least 2 full weeks from Fathom Events. It started Thursday, where it made 3.1 million just on Thursday. Added 8.4 million Friday, Saturday, and today. So that's about $11.5 million over the last 4 days for the re-release of Coraline, which is amazing. I mean, that's huge for animation, stop motion animation, Fathom Events, and the impact of this movie. I gotta be honest with you, Leica, I love many of Leica's films. Coraline, not one of my favorites in the Leica collection. I think Henry Selick, who I interviewed a couple years ago, is very talented. I think The Nightmare Before Christmas is amazing. But to me, Paranorman's a better film. Kubo and the Two Strings is a better film. Coraline is better than Missing Link. Missing Link didn't quite do it for me. Yeah, and the Box Trolls, I think the Box Trolls is a better film. So yeah, and Corpse Bride I think is all right. Some people call it a full Leica film, some people don't. But if I look at the 5 Leica animated movies that have all been nominated for the Best Animated Feature Oscar, and Missing Link won the Golden Globe, Kubo won the BAFTA. When I look at the 5, if I had to rank them, Kubo and Paranorman battle for number 1. 1 and 2, you could go either way. The Box Trolls in 3rd, Coraline in 4th, and Missing Link in 5th. And now their new stop-motion animated movie, Wildwood, is going to come out next year. It doesn't have a North American distributor, huge distributor, to my knowledge, yet. But based on the success of Coraline, somebody's got to jump in and distribute Wildwood, which I am looking forward to. Number 6, as animation keeps dominating this summer, Despicable Me 4 added 6 million. It's at 340.4. It passed 2015's Minions to become Universal's 9th biggest movie of the 21st century. It is in that top 10. And I think at this point, it's going to pass Furious 7, which did 353. I think it'll happen. It may take a couple weeks. It may come close, but Universal's thrilled. Despicable Me 4 also more than 500 million internationally. So yeah, we're getting Minions 3 in 3 years, and maybe even Despicable Me 5 after that. We'll have to see. But these movies just keep making money. Number 7 is Trap, which made 3.4 million this weekend. The M. Night Shyamalan thriller. It's only at 35.2. That's what Knock at the Cabin made for Universal back last February. And this will end up making a little more than that. It may make a run at 40. Old from 2021 did 48. This will not get to 48, so it will fall in between his last 2 films. I think he wants more than this. I really think so. And like I mentioned the other day, last time here on LCJ Live, I think you get a big name to come back for one of these Shyamalan movies. Samuel L. Jackson, somebody, a bigger name. No disrespect to Josh Hartnett, who I think gives a very good performance in Trap. But I think in order to make more money for these Shyamalan films, I think you need a humongous A-lister. I like Trap. I like the first half of Trap a lot. I think it's some of the best work Shyamalan's ever done, especially since The Sixth Sense, which I love. But you may need a different concept, a different way of going about things. If people are kind of expecting the same stuff or a similar pattern from these Shyamalan movies, that old didn't have any huge names in it. Dave Bautista in Knock at the Cabin, but he's not even a gigantic superstar compared to many other actors in the business. I think that's part of what's hurting these Shyamalan films lately. Glass made a lot of money. Split made a lot of money. They had James McAvoy and Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, and Anya Taylor-Joy even before she became a big name now. So that may be the strategy for Shyamalan. We'll have to see what happens. Inside Out 2 added 3.2 million this weekend. It's at 642.2. Number 9, we believe, is Borderlands with 2.4 million from the 8.6 it made last weekend. That's a big drop. It's only earned $13.5 million so far. And rounding out your top 10, we believe, is a film called Street 2, which did about $2 million. Outside of the top 10 this weekend, Cuckoo added 866,000. It's at 5.3. It is the ninth biggest movie ever for Neon, but it's not going to climb much higher than that. It may not even pass Spencer, which is number 8 with 7.1 million. It had a okay open in 3 million last weekend, but not what Immaculate did, and certainly not what Longlegs did. Longlegs added 721,000. It's at 72.9, the biggest movie domestically for Neon of all time. Parasite still the champion by far worldwide. Also outside of the top 10 this weekend, Harold and the Purple Crayon, which added $1 million. It's at 15.7. I wanted this film to do much more than that. I thought if it had an all right open of 10 million, it could do close to 30, but it only did 6. And if it had strong enough legs, it could have made a run at 25. This isn't even going to get to 20, which is too bad. Because again, I think it's a very good family film for 6 to 10-year-olds especially. I'm hearing more reactions coming for Transformers 1 a month in advance. They're saying it's fantastic. Fanimator believes the review embargo lifts September 12th. Transformers 1 has screened for some people around the country. There were early fan screenings in LA and New York. I'm looking forward to it. I think it could be good as well. It's interesting that they want to show an animated film with a brand like this so early. You hope people don't spoil things online. It is a Transformers movie, legitimately. And you hope there are no spoilers out there. I mean, you hope that for every movie these days, but certainly for that. But that will be very interesting. The September animation 1-2 punch of Transformers 1, which has a lot of buzz behind it, and The Wild Robot from DreamWorks and Universal, which also has a lot of buzz behind it. Skincare did not do well this weekend. Only $316,000. That's about $400 per screen. It's in 768 theaters. I like the first half. I think it loses itself in the second half. It loses its energy. It loses a little bit of its spunk. Elizabeth Banks, it's a good character for her and a very interesting opening act, and how we learn about her character and how we get into the saga. I don't think it's quite as enjoyable or unique as the movie goes on. I don't hate it by any means. I'd say a mild recommendation, but I didn't love it quite as much as I wanted to. It tries a little bit to be kind of, I don't know, the vibe of this year's Emily the Criminal. I like Emily the Criminal more than this. Also out this weekend, My Penguin Friend in a little over 1,000 theaters. Don't have the money on that quite yet. I did see on Thursday Dee Dee, which I also say is a mild recommendation, and I even think maybe slightly better than Skincare. Dee Dee is inspired by the true story from director Sean Wong about a young boy leaving 8th grade, going into high school, and growing up. And it's a story we've seen told many times. There's a little bit of a unique perspective here, I think, when it comes to the social media component, the YouTube instant messaging, Facebook of 2008. They play into that, the makers of the film do, and I think that's part of its strength. There are also some very nice scenes involving relationships between siblings. Not the fighting early on, but as it goes on, it gets a little quieter when it comes to that, and a little bit more emotional. the mother-son relationship. The two central performances are very good. Joan Chen and Isaac Wong, I believe is the young actor's name, who could get a Critics' Choice nomination for Young Actor. I could see that happening. They have some very good scenes, and kind of the relationships between friends, what you learn about friends when you go to a new school, the summertime in between. There's a lot that even I think still rings true 16 years after the film is set. There are some sections of it that just do not work. There are some scenes, there's a party scene, there's a hallucination scene, there's some goofy situations involving some of the characters, and some of the things that the kid gets involved in that are just not very good. But I would say 65% of the movie works pretty well, and about 35% of the movie doesn't. But I would say DD is a mild recommendation. I think there is more to like about it than there is to dislike about it. Mr. Quake, Primos is okay. Tater might be a brat, but has a heart. Primos is a Disney animated series that's available now on Disney platforms, and I spoke with the creator, Natasha Klein. If you want that podcast episode, we talk about all aspects of the series. Go to lcj.podbean.com. It's also at animationscoop.com. Some new podcast episodes. There'll be one coming next week, and there's some more available now at lcj.podbean.com and animationscoop.com. So I saw DD the other night, and when it comes to movies coming out this week, I have seen 200% Wolf. That interview with the director of that, go to the podcast platform and animationscoop.com as well, Alex Statterman. We talk about 200% Wolf, which is this animated feature sequel to the 2020 hit 100% Wolf, and it's going to be in theaters nationwide from Viva Pictures, Viva Kids, coming out this Friday. Also out this Friday is Blink Twice, which is Channing Tatum's new film, directed by Zoe Kravitz. Amazon MGM behind this. The trailers have been playing a long time. I hope they don't give away everything. I hope that there are still some surprises in Blink Twice. The Forge is kind of a faith-based drama that'll be out in theaters Friday. Could be one of those surprise 10 million plus opening weekends. We'll have to see. Sony, I believe, putting this out through one of their divisions. The Crow is also out. That's a wild card. Lionsgate, which just had a flop in Borderlands. This new Crow movie, which it could do okay, but I'm not sure it's going to be number one, and coming right after Alien Romulus. And they have been moving this around, The Crow, a bunch of times. So Lionsgate finally just wants to get it out there towards the end of August. And then a horror movie that's getting some attention called Strange Darling also opens up on Friday. And on Hulu is a movie called The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat. And I have seen this. And again, it's kind of, I've been seeing some movies that I'd kind of give a C+ to lately. This is all right. It's just, here's the thing about The Supremes. It's not about The Supremes. It's based in a book, and it's about these ladies who have been with each other for a long time in their lives, through the ups and downs, through the struggles, and the significance of them being at this diner, and their relationships, and we follow them over several decades. Ingenue Ellis Taylor gives another strong performance, as she did in King Richard, as she did in Origin. The movie is a lot to handle. It's a lot of material being thrown at us. It's almost miniseries-like in what it does. And it's a little too much. Could have pulled back on some of it. Could have been shorter. It's basically 2 hours. I think even a little over 2 hours. Could have been shorter. Could have been a few fewer subplots. Not bad, not great. That's on Hulu. The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat this Friday from Searchlight. So those are the big movies coming out this week. When we're back here next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern for LCJ Live, we'll see what's number one again. I think it's going to be Alien, unless it has such a big drop that maybe Deadpool's on top, because I'm not sure Blink Twice and The Crow and The Forge, if any of them can really do more than $20 million. So we'll see. That we could be in for a surprise. Next Sunday will also be Regis's birthday. Did you watch Millionaire? Oh my gosh, if you haven't seen the latest episode of Millionaire, you got to watch it. And the 25th anniversary of the show was Friday. Amazing that Millionaire started 25 years ago, back on August 16, 1999. Regis's birthday next Sunday. We'll remember him, and we'll preview some of the big films for Labor Day weekend. John Cho in a thriller called Afraid, and Dennis Quaid as Ronald Reagan in Reagan, which I'm very much looking forward to checking out. On Lights, Camera, Jackson, because Dennis Quaid is one of my favorite actors, and this has been a passion project of his for a long time, so I cannot wait to finally see Reagan. We'll see how it does, and we'll see how it is. For more Go to X at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, the website lights-camera-jackson.com. Thanks for being here on LCJ Live. Thanks for the comments. We got some Primos comments in here, some millionaire comments. Missing Regis, Jimmy Kimmel's a good millionaire host. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.